One of the greatest challenges that we're facing today is to be able to provide food for the ever-increasing population of the world. In this respect, aquaculture's role is becoming even more important, especially if we consider that capture fisheries have limited production due to the overexploitation of the stocks.
I believe it's one sector of great importance to the whole world, because from the fisheries at this moment we are overexploited and the demand is very high. So we have to do something with farming, like we did on land.
Aquaculture in Cyprus started in the 1960s with freshwater aquaculture, and at the end of 1970s, early 1980s, we moved on to marine aquaculture, initially in land-based facilities, and later in the 1990s moving into offshore facilities.
Offshore aquaculture is beneficial for the farm, but also for the environment. For the farm, it creates a space where fish do not need to be stocked in higher densities, therefore avoiding the use of antibiotics and hormones. For the environment, it creates a much more sustainable activity where impacts are much more dispersed, and therefore these sites can be used for a much longer period of time.
In the early 1990s, when we had the first marine offshore cage farm operating in Cyprus, we wanted to establish a specific tool that would allow us to support the political decision of developing this activity. We prepared a strategic plan to develop aquaculture that would be financially viable, environmentally compatible, and socially acceptable. And through the process of public consultation, we were able to pass the first specific aquaculture law and aquaculture regulations. Aquaculture was a relatively new activity, so there were many reservations expressed from the general public and from some NGOs as regards what will be the impacts of aquaculture on the environment. So within the legislative framework, we did establish an obligation of the fish farmers to carry out twice a year an environmental monitoring program. This environmental monitoring program is carried out by independent scientists, but the cost is transferred over to the fish farmers themselves.
A biannual monitoring program is necessary to have a long-term data set where any potential impacts can be seen in advance so as to be mitigated, so that there are no problems with the marine waters and the quality of the marine environment. Because the monitoring activities in Cyprus have been going on for a very long time, around 20 years now, we have a good data set of what the environmental conditions should be within the surroundings of a fish farm.
We do follow a precautionary approach. So in case of increasing production, we do provide a permit, but on a step-by-step basis. This will give us time to evaluate the results of the environmental monitoring and take decisions accordingly.
Since 20 years now, I can say that we are making monitoring studies, and by an independent institution, the authorities are verifying the results from these institutions, and today we can say that we are sustainable and anybody can come and see these results.
It seems now that most of the concerns of society regarding aquaculture relate to the quality of the products and the animal welfare. So within our strategy for the future, we have included several measures and actions that relate to the establishment of a quality label that will take into consideration the main concerns of society and the consumers in relation to the quality of the products.
We want our fish to be happy. We have low density fish. The nets are clean, so the water can flow through the cage easily. We have no diseases since 30 years of the existence of this farm. So I can say that our fish are happy.
I would say that today we're at a point that we have a thriving aquaculture industry in Cyprus.